Welcome to another Shadowrun missions campaign. We are dropping this in due to some people being absent for our usual Sea Dogs campaign. So welcome everybody. I'd like to welcome Bruno as
Thanks.
A new player to our campaign, and Captain Button returning to reappraise his role of Kesh.
Welcome, guys.
Thanks. It's a pleasure.
We probably took care of most of that before we went live in the pre-stream stuff, but does anyone have any points or bookkeeping that they need to take care of?
No, it's going to depend on the campaign date.
Right.
What a slacker GM.
I would like to use downtime to get towards stabilize mortal wound in the prereqs list, but we don't have to do that right now. That'll take a few. I can make a post about it. Ooh, nice graphic.
I bought a thing and another thing.
Okay. Alright, so this adventure takes place 6 months before Hiding in the Dark.
6 months before.
Sorry, 6 months after.
Okay.
Thought we were going to time travel.
So Hiding in the Dark was
January 19th, 2073 was Hiding in the Dark.
Okay, so you guys have had over a month downtime.
So it's what, June something or other?
I don't think the actual day matters, so we'll make it June 15. How about that?
All right.
Right, that means some of us got paid.
Yeah, well, I'm looking more at some of us have to pay for the sister and the cost of living and all that stuff.
Getting paid won't alter my available money because I will have spent it all on compulsive carousing, generosity, and spending. Not to mention charity.
Alright, so there should be a calendar log there for today's date.
As a matter of fact, I will probably have blown a significant amount of what I already had, so I'll just erase one of these certified cred sticks.
Everyone should spend some money on cost of living, and it should probably be a whole 2 months of cost of living that you'd have to spend.
Do I have that written down somewhere?
Probably not. It's been kind of in and out.
What is the cost of living? It's $650, is that right?
600.
600.
Yeah, so just remove $1,200 from your money total, and that's on the inventory tab of your character sheet.
Okay, I've also got debt loan shark minus 5 points. How much would be the figure I'm at?
Okay, so that's 5% of the starting wealth. The starting wealth was 30 grand, if I'm not mistaken.
So that would be 3,000.
Or 1,500 if it's 5%.
Yeah, so total you'd have to 4,200 you'd have to take off. That includes your cost of living and your debt.
You should have it available, though. We got paid pretty good on that last one.
Oh yeah, I got the money. That's not a.
So you've had plenty of time to spend points on learning new spells and stuff if you wish. And I'd also give people the opportunity to learn new skills if you have points set aside for that.
I'll make a note that I have 4 weeks worth of downtime, and then deal with it later.
You actually have 9 weeks.
Oh, is it 8 weeks?
Yeah, we went from April 7th through to June 15th.
Ooh, good. I'll actually be able to get some of the spells that I was working towards. That'll be nice. Get Dispel Magic, Stabilize Mortal Wound, and one other thing I forgot. I think it was one of the spell triggers or having a spell held kind of thing that I was working up to.
Okay, if I want to buy off the debt disadvantage, I'd have to pay 5 character points and how much money?
No money, just the character points.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you said that you had a monetary amount for him. Speaking to Brian.
The debt is a monthly thing. Debt is a disadvantage.
Oh, it's ongoing. I see now.
Yeah, so it'll go indefinitely until you pay off the character points.
Yeah. So he already paid it for the month, and then he's going to buy it off as well. Cool. That'll be handy.
Okay, I already paid off the interest, so I'm up to date. But if I spend the character points to buy off the loan, do I also have to deduct money?
No.
Okay.
So if you choose to pay off that debt, then we can say that the last payment that you made squared away your bill with the loan shark. So anyone else have any other bookkeeping skills that they'd like to get, stuff that they'd like to purchase, things that they would like to do in that 2-month period?
Just
my
as
God.
finally,
I know, right?
just as an FYI, so it doesn't surprise you later, I did upgrade the robo bugs to include thermals, and I picked up silencers.
Excellent.
Cool. Anyone that has enemies or secrets and stuff like that, please make a roll for that into the box.
Into the box.
What's in the box? So we only have Frey and Frost with enemies and such.
Nope, the rebuilt bookworm doesn't have an enemy.
Just for interest's sake, that screenshot that I've got up on the screen there, the armor that the dude's wearing, that's the Knight Errant tactical armor.
Is it?
Yep.
Cool. Those guys think they're pretty badass. Oh wow, hadn't heard that song in a long time.
What song?
The one Phil linked in FG chat.
Yeah.
I love that song. I used to listen to it on repeat.
That album is awesome.
Yeah, the whole thing, absolutely.
I think there's one song on there that I don't like, and I'm trying to remember.
I think there were a
Rage-
couple.
I
I think there were a
Rage Against
couple
the
you used to
Machine
bitch about.
that I don't like.
That was one.
That's normal for an album to have a few shitty songs.
I liked the whole album of Head on the Door too.
Not familiar with that one.
I can't remember the name of the album. It's the one that has the song Head on the Door in it.
Yeah,
I was going to
stupid.
say, I have the score for The Crow as well.
Sorry, I'm stupid. Where was this song linked?
In the Fantasy Grounds chat.
It was linked by Phil or Rigel Kent.
Yeah, it's just a
Oh,
little
okay.
thing.
Click on the
Okay.
all-seeing eye
yeah,
thing.
The Fnord.
It's just a Cure song from the Crow soundtrack.
Okay.
But,
All right.
You know, we saw this was named Burn, and I'm like, oh, I remember that song.
Fitting. Alright, so any other bookkeeping?
I don't think I have any, no.
Negative Ghost Rider, the pattern is full.
Nope.
Right, then we shall begin. A call from a fixer or Johnson is a siren song to a Shadowrunner. It means business, which always beats watching nighttime tridcasts of strange Japanese game shows, and it pays better as well. Mr. McAllister, a fixer whose icon is a circular red orc smiley logo, has just sent a text of a time and place for a meet, 1900 hours at the virtual Underground 93. The only other text is, "This is biz." It takes a second for you to remember that that's the old slang for the term Shadowrun.
Right, McAllister was an old school Shadowrunner.
Yes.
Trying to keep up with my lore. Virtual Underground. So that means we're going to be in hacking. Not hacking, but not actually there in person.
Correct.
Oh,
So,
gotta change my avatar.
I gotta put on my face.
I don't know what you're talking about. I may have beaten you to it.
Interesting.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Did you not notice that?
That's awesome. I should do that.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Yeah, my icon was boring. It was basically just me.
Okay, so
Do Voldemort as your thing.
to attend this meeting, you are going to need to actually jack in. So augmented reality is not sufficient.
That's gonna be a problem. I can't jack in.
You can
Yeah,
get,
You
I
don't
don't have
have
an
to have an
interface.
implant for that.
you can get I think they're called Sims, which you basically attach to your head, and it gives you
No,
the
electrodes instead of an implant.
yep, and
Cool,
they're
I'll do
readily
that.
available. Sims are for entertainment, and some people take it too far and they get better than life Sims, so they actually live their entire life in the sim and end up dying because they don't eat and stuff.
That never happens.
Okay, if I have an implant, is that an advantage or what?
That would
Not
be.
in a social situation like this, but for hacking it would be, because the electrodes are too slow of a response time to be useful for hacking. But the implant gives you direct connection between your brain and the circuit.
In
He's
GURPS
asking if
terms, yeah.
Where do I look on the character sheet to determine if I have?
Advantages.
It's an
Okay.
advantage,
Yeah, I
and
don't-
it'll be called neural interface.
Or
No,
Yeah.
jack.
I don't have
he
it.
doesn't have one.
Well,
I don't
looks
think
like
very
I'm gonna
many of us do.
plug in Trodes.
All right, so
Yeah.
those of you that don't have a sim or a neural interface will have to go purchase one, and you can grab one of those for, I don't know the value, but I'll just say 100 new yen.
All right, marking it off.
Call it a sim.
Yes.
By the way, do you all hear it when I'm typing, or is it just me?
I don't think I've heard any.
I haven't noticed it.
Okay.
I could lie if you want me to and tell you that I heard it. That'd make you feel better.
No. I wouldn't put you to that.
Yeah.
Simrig.
If you have like current affairs, the Matrix or something to that effect. And Frost, since you are a Decker, I'll get you. You could roll area knowledge if you like.
Only if it crossed paths with popular culture.
That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought to use area knowledge for that, and now that you have mentioned it, I should do that. Would that be Matrix, area knowledge Matrix?
Yeah, that'll work.
I am adding that.
It'll be governed by the same rules as area knowledge, so if you want to make it area knowledge, Seattle matrix, and it's specific to
Oh,
Seattle.
what's the domain here? I forget what it was called. Man, it's been a while since I've read into this. The local
You are UCAS?
carrier.
Oh, the company that runs everything.
Yeah, the one that runs it here.
I don't recall.
Yeah, I can fix that later. All right, making some notes here.
I forget that was new to the current day of 5th edition.
I don't think anyone actually runs the matrix. I think it's like,
Oh, that was the banking. You're thinking of the banking, where the banking
No.
is all run from Orbital.
No, I have a very specific thing in mind here. I just can't remember what it's called.
Ah.
Clearly not that important.
So you're welcome to make an area knowledge matrix roll. Alright, so you are quite familiar with Virtual Underworld 93. I shall copy this info for you.
Grid.
LTG stands for Local Telecommunications Group.
Right. I
Basically the
remember
phone
that.
number.
And there are private and public grids.
That is no problem, Bruno. I do apologise if there is a sort of noise in the background. Can you hear it?
Yes.
Yeah, sort
Just
of
a little.
moaning. Vaguely reminiscent of the crying levels of doom.
My neighbour's mowing his lawn.
Oh. I think we've heard that before.
Hopefully he's done quick.
So it looks like you were right, Brian. I happened to pull up the 4th edition Shadowrun core rulebook, and I finally tracked down the sim rig thing, and that's 100.
Wow.
Really,
that
because I
was
think
a
it's
guess.
1,000 yen in 5th edition.
Or are we using 5th or 4th?
GURPS.
Yeah, we're using 100. There's probably something similar in Ultratech.
Okay.
Sim module.
The sim module is 100.
Yeah, that's what I figured it would be, because it says
Yeah, I was trying to
there's an
the sim rig.
ASIST interface that controls the SimSense experience. allows you to directly experience SimSense and virtual reality. And I figured that's what you're using, right?
Yeah, probably. The sim rig is what lets you record it. That one's 1,000.
Yeah, I don't care about recording it.
Yeah, sim module's the one you want, and that hooks up to your comlink.
Huzzah!
Okay, so with this, those people that have proper interfaces, you will have proper avatars. So feel free to describe your avatars. We can start with Frost. What does your avatar look like?
As depicted.
Iceman?
It says chill out a lot.
He doesn't do that.
I think he does.
Frey, you don't have an interface.
No, I'm just using the whatchamadoohickey, the sim thingamadoo, because
Right.
I don't have a proper.
So you have a very basic avatar. You pick through the list. You scroll through the list, and
Yeah, it looks like
one of the
me
custom
with
avatars.
green.
He's got a John Wick mini, what is it, Weemy or whatever the hell it is.
It's totally Neo.
You pick the there's avatars, and some of them are based on movies, and you look through one of the movies and you see one of the movies called John Wick kind of looks a little bit like you.
Whoa. No way that John Wick had to do that. Yeah.
And Bookworm, you
I got a promotional avatar in a box of soy puff breakfast sugar bombs, and I'm using that one because it was.
that's awesome.
He's used that before.
Yeah,
I can't
it was
remember what
free.
for.
I can't remember either, but I remember you using it.
Yeah, I specifically Googled it and put it in my folder during some game or other, just for the purpose of popping.
What are this /command stuff for? What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to copy and paste the list of commands, but I don't know how to do it right.
Should just copy and paste.
Oh.
Control C, Control V.
No, it's actually trying to use them. That link I just pasted in there is the list of commands. It's old, but I think everything still works.
Bruno, is that Jester's physical description or his Matrix avatar or both? Okay, cool.
Kerry, just for the benefit of people that are listening and not necessarily reading the chat, could you read out his description?
Oh, yeah. Jester's description is as follows. I'm a well-dressed guy with ruffled black hair, eyes that don't stop in one place, always looking around, in a beautiful black suit, as described. Jenks has a naughty smile, a sort of rascal.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And can we get Kesh's avatar?
It's got a surly looking
he put it,
cat avatar.
Yeah. He put it in chat.
It's Grumpy Cat.
Oh, wait a minute. I have that one too.
It would be Grumpy Cat, but I don't want to pay the IP fee.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of fake Grumpy Cat.
Grumpy dog. But looks like a cat.
Okay, so you guys will turn up at 9 p.m. Let me fix that time.
I thought he said 1900. Or was it 1700?
That'd be 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I thought that's what he said in the original
2100.
Oh, well, yeah, that's 9 p.m.
Nuh-uh, it's 2100.
True. All you have to do to get used to that, by the way, is set your phone to use 24-hour time.
Or be in the military.
Or have used it since you were in grade school.
After a week or so, it'll be second nature.
Yeah, that's what I use. I use 24-hour time.
Yep, I changed my phone when school started making us do all of our documentation in 24 hours. And now it just feels natural.
Okay, so you
Next up, do everything UTC.
so you head into virtual Underworld 93, and it is a virtual landscape landscape that mimics the physical place. You see a door with McAllister's smiley red orc face icon to the left of it. And there is, and as you look over, you see a number of other avatars leaving that room and walking out of the virtual bar. Oh, by the way, if you want, you can get virtual drinks and stuff like that, and you will, taste and you have, full sensation.
I'm doing that.
Of course he is.
I'll light up a virtual cigarette.
And you will taste the virtual tobacco. However, you can drink as much as you like. It's not going to get you virtual drunk.
Oh, it'll just be one then.
Well, that depends on if you get the right stuff that can trick it out so it actually gets you drunk.
Oh yeah, actually this Underworld 93 note that you put up in the Shadowrunner comments at the end, it looks like that's exactly what they've done. I'll have what Slamo's having.
So yeah, you can order drinks and stuff like that. But you see a number of other avatars leave this room. The door will close, and then underneath McAllister's avatar, you see the letters LFG.
Looking for group.
Those of you that are old school gamers or whatever, you would know that this is a throwback to retro gaming, which meant looking for a group.
How quaint.
Does McAllister actually go by McAllister, or does he have a handle?
Bull.
Seems appropriate.
At least I think it's Bull. I can't quite remember.
All right.
We'll join him.
Alright, so you will step into this virtual room, and when you cross the threshold of the room, you will hear a sort of static as you cross the threshold, and the sounds of the bar become a very distant, dull, background noise. And I guess Frost, you would instantly recognize that there is some privacy filters that are running on this section of the matrix. So
To be expected.
yeah, anything that's happening in here is like all encrypted and private. Okay. So you all take a seat.
Yep.
Yes.
And just cause Bull's avatar, which is like a minotaur, a red minotaur, with a shirt on that says "Best Orc Decker Ever." Oh, sorry, Best Orc Decker you never met.
He's the only orc decker I've met.
Okay, once you're all seated, he will welcome you guys and thank you for turning up. He will begin talking about a situation that's going on in the Orc Underground, and this relates to a number of accidents that have been taking place. You guys would have seen this through the news.
You trailed off for me after talking about. I don't know if anybody else experienced that.
Yeah, I got that
Yeah.
too.
How's that? Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Can hear you okay, you just cut off.
Okay, so he starts to talk about some accidents that took place in the Orc Underground. And these are things that you have heard on the news. Some have been proven to be anything but accidents. And media, some media outlets are putting the blame on terrorists or terrorist style attacks, possibly from a number of the hate groups, which is Alamos 20K and the other mob, which
Humanist Poly Group.
Humanist Poly Club, the other Nazis.
Yep.
Yeah, well, we punched them pretty hard in the face, though.
So
Yes,
this
you
is
did.
retaliation for what we did.
Well, they just don't like orcs or any non-pure strain human.
As I seem to recall, there is an ongoing subplot through these that the Orc Underground is pressuring for political equality in town, and they're just trying to resist that.
Yeah, there is an upcoming Proposition 23, which is a bill to legitimise the Orc Underground as a district of Seattle, which means the local government will then have to, provide the proper services and infrastructure and stuff for the underground.
Shouldn't that vote have already happened?
No, it's not November yet.
Was it November?
That's when most propositions are voted for, I think.
Not necessarily.
I'm not sure when that's supposed to take
I
place.
thought it was like a couple of weeks away the last time we played or something. I seem to recall it was pretty close.
The time we dealt with that politician guy who was secretly backed by them.
Yeah, I don't think the vote has actually come though. I think that's
It's easy.
stuff leading
It's
up
easy
to it.
enough to excuse, explain away. Like something has pushed it back and pushed it back.
Yeah.
So, at least this point, Proposition 23 hasn't taken place. So he'll discuss these accidents, and he says his inquiries suggest this is sabotage, and has been disguised very well. He ends by saying, I would like you people to investigate this and find out who is behind these attacks. For this, I am willing to offer 10,000 yen each.
Good God.
So does he just want them identified, or does he want them identified and removed?
For that price, he can get them baked into a pie.
That's entirely up to you, but at this point he just wants it investigated. He wants to know who's behind it, and then he'll probably take it from there. He's put it this way, he certainly doesn't care if those people behind it have unfortunate accidents themselves.
Right.
But he's not specifically asking you to get involved, take them out or anything like that. So that's up to you.
Okay, play it by ear then.
Okay.
I mean, I'm for accepting his offer. Yeah, that's a lot of money. I'm not even inclined to bargain.
When did that explosion happen that took his arm?
2
Was
months
that the
ago.
last one?
Yeah, that was the last one. He was in hospital when you guys did that, because he went and got Tosh to run stuff for him.
Right. So that was the one where he hit the house. And we resolved who actually did that?
Yes, that was the Humanist people, and you grabbed a bunch of evidence to link their activities with, I think it's one of the advisors to the Brackhaven administration.
Yeah, that was the politician that we connected to their nefarious doings.
Okay, so this could still be an extension of that.
Yep.
He's, like you said, he's certain that these accidents, at least for some of them, he is certain that they are sabotage, and someone has gone to lengths to cover it up and make it look like an accident. And he will give you, in a couple of the incidents, so he'll say, remember that that fire on the tourist highway that shut down whatever. He'll then give you some specific details of how he knows that that was just not a random fire, it was sabotage.
Does he provide any other specific examples?
Yeah, do we have a list?
He does. So if you inquire, because there's several, it's not just one or two. There's been several incidents at.
Yeah, there may be some that I haven't heard of, so I'm going to ask him to, elaborate as much as he's able.
He will. So he'll give you all the details and how he knows that, it was a covered up sabotage or covered up attack. So, from you guys, do you agree to the job?
I have no reason not to.
I'm in favor.
Good.
He says, excellent. I knew I could count on your group.
Jester and Cash also comfortable with that?
Yes.
I stress the
Cash.
urgency of this job, as there are lives at stake. The longer things go on, the more chance that more people are going to get hurt, and I can't allow that to happen. What's more is further violence might hinder the chance of Proposition 23 succeeding. It is just about then that you see McAllister's avatar sort of go blank, and then it looks down, and I guess actually no need for body language. You will see that the avatar, his emotions and expressions indicate some sort of sadness. Then he says in a quiet tone, "There's just been another attack. It's a really bad one this time.
Let's get to the side of it right away."
Define bad.
You need to go to the circle. It's a residential area and underground. You should be able to get there via the bottom level of... I'm not even going to try and pronounce that.
All right, guys. Meet you there. Irregular.
It's on Highway 5, just south of the Northgate Mall. To who asked how bad? Was Frey?
Frey.
He turns to you and says, "It was a school."
Oh no. All right, hustle, guys. Meet you there.
It's all right. Pip doesn't go to school.
Or does he?
I gave him enough money to not have to go to school. No, I'm just kidding. He might. I have no idea.
He might want an education and become, someone super smart and awesome.
He's already super smart and awesome. What are you implying? Racist?
He might just want another. He might just not want another burger.
He's gonna step up and take the job of the dude who like we faked his death. Is it I want to say Torini?
Yeah.
At any rate, I'm going to pull off the trodes,
Yep.
grab my
Yep.
gear, and
Ditto.
get on public transport to the deregulator parking garage.
All right. So before you guys get to leave, McAllister says, "Anything else?" When you guys remark no, he will simply disconnect and his avatar basically de-reses. For Frost, you would have a... Do you have savoir-faire matrix? Or savoir-faire... It doesn't matter. You don't need the skill.
Didn't know that was a thing either.
You would know that it is poor etiquette, matrix etiquette, to just log out. Normally you would leave the node. In this case, leave the bar, but it is considered bad form just to log out.
Oh, well, I'm guilty of that too then, because I just pulled off the trodes and I would have de-resed too.
Yep.
Presume he was upset. Is savoir-faire matrix going to be a thing?
No, not really.
I have savoir-faire Shadowrunning.
I guess it could fall. You could make it a skill if you want, but it's not really going to.
Well,
savoir-faire Shadowrunning probably covers it, since decking is part of Shadowrunning. Okay, so you guys are heading to the scene?
As quickly as possible.
Yeah, I guess we're probably all going to converge there.
Alright, so how will you gear up?
Well, since I know that I'm going into the underground through a secret entrance in a parking garage, I'm not concerned about Imperial entanglements. So I'll be wearing armor, carrying my pistol, and other than that, basically full kit.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning toward full kit myself.
Standard.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Yeah. I'm not going to be toting the rifle, that's for sure.
Now, if we're going in the underground, is that literally underground steam tunnel?
It is.
Yeah,
it is
actually,
literally underground. It's beneath the streets of Seattle. It's basically a slum, a hiding place outside of regular society for orcs, trolls, and other oppressed minorities.
Carrying long arms would be inappropriate.
Not necessarily, but it might bring you more attention than you want.
Okay, I'll leave
something you can stick under a coat would be better.
Okay.
Possible to go through high and fast places. I'm not sure exactly.
Oh.
So he drives like a lunatic in route.
Yeah, that would be completely in character for Jester. Yeah.
No. I'm not going to bother taking my own vehicle out there since we're going to be underground anyway.
Yeah, that's why I did public transport.
Alright, so you will carpool, do whatever you need to do to get there. Just note sort of what gear that you have on you, or what you're taking with you.
Okay, my carried, worn, not carried on my inventory is accurate.
Cool.
Oh, actually, except that since we've had 4 weeks, all my power stones will be fully charged. I'll update.
That is useful. Okay, you head to the latest emergency scene, which is accessed via a massive underground portion of a parking garage. The structure is owned by the Orc Underground through a few dummy organisations and is not one of the better known access ways to the underground. Right now the parking building is jammed with construction and cargo vehicles, all bearing the logo of Topside Construction. The trucks are filled with bags of permacrete and support beams, and they are parked and stopped while the drivers and workers lounge around collecting lesser but easier transport pay while doing nothing at all. Near the bottom of the building, a heated conversation can be heard between 3 people. I have an image.
Cops.
They are it's a 2 knight errant patrolmen.
Does the coat indicate like a higher rank, or because he also has an open face, or is that just a different kind of uniform?
Different uniform. So one is
Okay.
like the tactical response, and the other is just your regular patrolman. And I guess
Okay.
Seattle being Seattle, that's like a trench coat.
Got it.
No, I figure I'll probably approach and ask them what's going on.
There is a knight errant patrol car off to the side of the road. It has its lights flashing. So these guys are arguing, and you get the gist of the knight errant guys are saying that can't lead you past here. This entrance is unsafe. We have orders to not let you in. It seems that they are telling the truth.
Orders from whom?
He will indicate his precinct or whatever.
Well,
We call Tosh.
I was about to say I was planning on calling him at least a little bit later anyway to try to get as much information as I can. So I think I am gonna try to reach out to.
As you're there, the foreman sort of pushes past you as you're talking to the cops. You can see that he's rather angry and heated. It's almost at a tipping point to a fight. The way this guy seems to be acting, and he's shouting when he mentioned it's unsafe to go there, and the foreman shouts out, "It's unsafe, and we're the people that are going there to make it safe. You have to let us in to do our job." And he's getting pretty heated. You see the guy off to the side has his rifle at the ready, and you've seen this situation before, and you know that if it escalates, if these guys start getting violent, there's a high likelihood that someone's going to get shot. For some background information, if you remember Topside Constructions.
Yep.
You guys did.
Vaguely?
You did a job escorting some
Yeah.
vehicles for them. Topside
Yeah.
Constructions is a company that's owned by Torini.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And we saved their bacon.
Yeah, somebody's got him as a contact too.
Well, he's
We
officially
have-
deceased, isn't he?
Well, he's officially deceased, but we know him to still be alive.
I suppose I could
Junior is dead. Torini is still alive, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And I took a favor from him in lieu of payment, but these are his people, like needing a favor from us, so that wouldn't really apply.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
I do have him as an actual contact in addition to the favor, though.
So, what are these construction guys? What is their objective? What are they trying to do by going in?
They need to get into the underground. So their job is obviously, the construction that's taking place in the underground, and it's been happening all the time.
What's been cordoned off here? Is it the entire underground or just
The entrance.
just the affected area?
It's the entrance to the car park.
Okay, so we know other
Tosh?
places to get in.
Oh, true. We do know 2 other entrances.
I don't remember which ones of us know about that.
Well, there's the bar that I don't have the name of, and I don't have my notes at my desk right now.
Right.
But there was an entrance under the bar, and there was another one hidden in the mall. And then there was a more public one that tourists use that's like actually guarded and checked, and you can't get weapons.
So, I'm still struggling. It's probably because my brain's mush. Am I understanding it correctly that the cops are saying you can't go in because it's too dangerous, or the area is unsafe, and the construction guys are arguing that's our job. We're trying to fix it.
Correct.
We're trying to make it unsafe. Okay.
So the construction guy is saying, they're there to fix the unsafeness, but the cops say they have orders to not let anyone in because it's unsafe.
Well, sounds perfectly normal to me.
So do we slip by while they're dealing with that, or
I don't want these dudes to get whacked by the overly aggressive cops.
Well, we can always take them around to one of those side entrances we know about.
Yeah, but they're if they've got trucks and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, that's
they
not a
need
matter.
Yeah, it's not getting entrance to the underground. That's the issue. It's getting all the stuff.
let's try getting Tosh to pull rank on these guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna at
And
least
let us through.
reach out. Oh, hey, cool.
Nice.
At least reach out to him to see if he actually is available to.
And it looks like
if he can't pull rank, in this, maybe he can point us to who the hell can get this cleared.
I mean, he's a detective working for Knight Errant on behalf of the district attorney. I bet he can tell street cops where to jump and how.
All right. So in this case, Tosh is available. He will answer your call. What can I do for you, Frey? Haven't heard from you in a little while. What's going on?
Trying to get to the underground. There's apparently been another incident. Doing a job for a fellow or a mutual associate of ours. there's apparently an issue here where some of your knight errant guys are not letting some construction dudes go in to fix the thing, that the cops aren't letting them in because it's dangerous.
I see. And this is causing an issue?
A little bit of one, yeah. I'm afraid there's going to be some bloodshed if we're not careful here, because these construction guys look like they're on the edge of their rope. And I was just wondering if you knew anything about this or knew who the heck I should talk to get this resolved. It sounds like standard Seattle bureaucracy.
I'm afraid it probably is. I'm not aware of it, but give me a bit. I'll see what I can find out. What's his role? Skill 15 or less?
15 or less, yeah, I've got that as well.
Sweet.
Yeah, he was kind of expensive too. He's like 4 points.
Okay, so while you're on the call, the rest of you will see one of the foremen basically get in the face of the patrolman that's standing at the entrance. Perception rolls or observation rolls from everyone except for Frey. Frey, you make your roll at -2. Sorry, -3 for being distracted.
Did it
Something
twice by accident, sorry.
to keep in mind there, Brian, is he does have the enhanced time sense as well.
I guess. Sure. Yeah, okay. You can make the roll without penalty.
Does it matter?
Those of you who succeeded, can I get... Actually, you all rolled observation, so that's fine. As the guy, the construction worker, gets into the face of the patrolman is yelling, you'll see that the officer off to the side will flick the safety on his rifle and basically, ready his grip so he can open fire at a moment's notice.
Oh my god, what kind of archaic crap is this? It got an analog safety.
In that case, Bruno, just use perception.
Yeah, perception works.
Whoa,
You will need...
Your image is all screwed up.
Yeah, I noticed it was kind of lopsided. I looked to see if I had another copy of it or something that I clicked.
Square.
Yeah, it's too tall. The aspect ratio
That's
is wrong.
weird. I may have more than one, and I just got the wrong one or something. Yeah, that's what it was.
Obviously, I never got around to creating your proper token either.
Alright, so Jester will also notice.
No worries.
This.
Oh, and earlier I mentioned bringing my pistol. The rebuilt bookworm does not carry a pistol; it carries a short staff.
Right. Do you have a zip
Walking
gun in that or something?
No, it's got a power stone in it though, so that it's a magic item, and I can reduce ranges by a yard by pointing.
So
that's true. I guess he doesn't need a gun.
The cop is basically telling the construction worker to stand down. So the cop hasn't done anything, to provoke anything yet, other than being an obstacle to this construction worker. But the construction worker is, on a really short fuse, and he's, yelling and screaming.
This is when Book needs to step in with his smooth talking.
Diplomacy. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, just tell him, hey, we got an inside guy in the force, so we can square this.
Kesh is going to focus on the policeman who took his safety off.
Good.
So
In case
he'll
he
be
needs
at
to
a-
late.
in case he needs to act, which means I'll be at a minus to notice anything else.
No, that's good. I mean, if anything goes bad, that's the guy who needs to go down first. So, good call.
He don't need to shoot the cops.
Well,
they may need it.
it'd be-
Sometimes they do.
it'd be better to be ready to shoot the cop if it needs to happen.
We're gonna
Then
find
not.
out after some of us have murdered these dudes, that these are the two only honest cops in Seattle.
No, nobody's murdering anyone. We're gonna talk. So, Bookworm's gonna step up. Arms open, one palm showing, and the other holding the walking stick in an unthreatening manner, and say, "Whoa, hold on."
So you're trying to calm the construction worker?
Yeah, and also the cop who just took his safety.
The cop is off to the side.
Right, but he can see and hear me, right?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, so this is directed at him as well, but I'm talking to everybody who's getting.
All right, give me a reaction roll, or if you wish to use a skill to get a good reaction, you can.
Just from saying whoa, or when I actually get into the conversation, because I'm going to use diplomacy, but just saying hold on, listen to me isn't diplomacy.
Well, make your diplomacy roll.
Okay. Right,
Nice.
and so my goal is to say, look, you're supposed to keep outsiders and tourists from coming in, right? Well, these guys are not outsiders or tourists. This is where they live. Your orders aren't to keep people out of their residences. Your orders are to keep people from who shouldn't be in there from going in there, correct?
He says, I understand your frustration, but I have my orders, and I've got to ensure that no one is allowed past this area. The area is unsafe.
All right, I'm going to cast Foolishness on him, which I have at a high enough level that I don't have to do a gesture to lower his IQ.
You stay here and make sure he doesn't leave.
All right. It is an instant casting. It costs 1 per IQ point that I'm going to drain him of. -1 because of the skill level I have it at. So I'm going to drain him of 5 points of IQ at a cost of 4. It is resisted with will.
Just realize you can make somebody magically drunk.
Yeah, I think there's a confusion one too. All right, so that's going to cost me 4 fatigue.
I'm sure he never practiced on himself.
So he succeeds by 1, you succeed by 3, so his IQ drops to that of 5. So a child.
Yeah, so I'm going to then convince him that only bad people need to stay out. And we and these construction workers are good people, and it's okay to let us in. You stay here and keep out the bad people. We will go inside and make sure it's safe.
Okay, give me a roll on. I guess that is fast talk.
Yeah, that would be fast talk.
He fails his IQ of 5.
And I
Nice.
succeed by 10. My logic is infallible.
You would have been able to convince him regardless.
Without the spell.
Yeah, but it's funnier with.
Yeah,
What's
with
that
him
laugh?
being.
So you see that he's obviously thinking about this. His eyes are going, back and forward, and he cannot disagree with your logic.
So I turn to the construction foreman and say, "Come on, boys," and walk through the barrier.
The guy just sort of stands there, and allows the construction worker to sort of walk past, and the construction worker says, basically waves the other guys, get these trucks moving and stuff like that. And he just stands there, not quite sure what to do, and then he just sort of, casually walks aside as all these, trucks start approaching on the position.
Okay. I'll ask the foreman real quickly. How long is it going to take you to get your stuff through? Because that only lasts a minute unless I maintain it, and that will cost me more.
Well, even still, you got that critical success too.
Oh well, yeah, that'll still apply even after he gets his 5 points back. It's like, oh, these are the good guys, right? He turns to the guy with his safety off and says, "Are we the baddies?"
Okay, so the guy will step aside. His armed escort will lower his rifle, and they just sort of stand aside as these trucks begin to file past them into the parking garage.
Just for safety, I am going to stay and make sure that they get through before the spell wears off, and I will continue it if necessary. Just for safety.
You want some gum?
And while these trucks are going through, you will notice that they, both the knight errant officers will return to their patrol car, and they will wait at the patrol car, sitting inside. Frey, you will get a message from Tosh. He says, "I've greased some gears. It should be good now."
Even better.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
the guy under the spell effect is in the car pushing all the buttons.
Whee!
Like that scene in the Mandalorian with the radio.
Yeah.
And like unscrewing the knob.
I'll also check with Tosh. It's like before I let him go, is like, comment that investigating the incidents in the underground. If there's anything that the knight errant has picked up, that could be helpful.
He will reply saying, "We don't have jurisdiction in the underground, so we don't get much information." But he will keep his ears to the ground and see. He'll let you know if anything comes up.
Does he want anything? Does he want anything?
If you're willing to give information, he probably will accept it. Though, are you going to ask him that?
Up to Frey, I suppose.
Wait, I don't know. What do you mean?
Well, that was Frost asking Frey, does he want anything, referring to Tosh.
Yeah, any information we can do to shut these assholes down.
Not Frey. I mean Tosh. Does Tosh want anything while we're in there?
No, that I don't know.
He hasn't, in the messages that you back and forth, he hasn't mentioned anything, I need you to look up this or whatever. He
Right.
hasn't said anything like that.
Well, I'm gonna let him know that I'll try to keep him informed as well. All right.
Right. Off
Into
we
the
go.
mess.
Just as a side note, I had to laugh at your comment that these are the two only honest cops in Seattle. It actually mentions that these guys are actually genuinely honest cops. And if you guys tried to bribe, they would arrest you and stuff. I had to
Hilarious.
laugh at that.
That's
Yeah,
hysterical.
my very first instinct was to try to bribe them, and I was like, no, that might not go so well. So that was a lucky break.
Yeah. Okay, get past them and haul butt to the frickin' school, I guess. These
Yeah.
construction guys get cracking.
They can probably give us a ride, get us there faster.
That's true.
Well, I don't know if they're going there. I think they.
Well, I bet they would take us wherever we wanted to go at this point.
Well, based off of my understanding, is they're trying to fix this unstable entrance.
And
Is the entrance unstable?
I don't think so. I think they're just have business down there. It's the impression I got.
You know that there's been construction going on all through the underground just to basically make sure it's not going to cave in and building up areas, making it nicer and stuff like that. So it's not just in one specific locale that they needed.
Running water lines, electric, matrix.
Yep.
Infrastructure maintenance.
Yeah.
Alright, after a quick walk through the wide tunnels and a few cavern-like passageways, you start to smell cooking meat, but surprisingly you don't find yourself hungry. Then
Why is that surprising?
Then the sweetness hits you. Then the sweetness hits you, and you feel the wrongness to the smell. Senses heightened from living on the edge of the shadows, you turn a corner and come to a scene of carnage and horror, the likes of which is rarely seen outside of Trid broadcasts from horrible war zones. A mound of a destroyed and smoking building is surrounded by a crowd of orcs weeping and crying openly and freely as a crew of Scratcher. If you guys remember Scratcher.
Yep.
Yeah,
they helped us take out the Humanist Poly Club after we were dealing with McAllister's, the guy who killed McAllister's daughter.
Who were they? A gang?
They're a street gang that have been protecting the underground.
Got it.
So I guess they're a good street gang. I'm sure they do not good stuff, but
they're okay.
Good is relative.
So they move around it. They are led by a lieutenant named Ziggy, trying to find signs of life.
Is that the dude we worked with before?
You do know Ziggy, yes. Their beloved brown and grey synth leather jackets and vests are filthy from the work, and the gang members choke on the smoke from the still smouldering building. You allow your eyes to move to the weeping and crying forms on the ground, which include orc children writhing in agony, most cut badly, or cradling broken bones, some missing limbs entirely. They are being cuddled. Sorry, they are being crudely tended to as they wait to be taken to various street doctors in the underground.
There is a difference between cuddling and crudely.
I know.
It depends on
I'll-
how early it is.
I'll immediately start casting 1-point minor heals on everyone I can touch.
I got a diagnostic smart bandage I can use on somebody. Probably not on a severed limb.
Somebody
though.
who's lost a. Actually, that's exactly where you'd want it, because it'd be able to.
There are the ones that
I'm
are
picturing a
wherever it's
tourniquet.
There are the ones that aren't moving at all and are covered with whatever is available to keep the parents and other family from seeing the damage done to them. Blood, limbs, and other things cover the ground. Between the sobbing orcs and the scenes of the explosion is a line of a dozen or so more Scratcher gangers linked arm to arm as a metahuman blockade, similar to the police barricades you've seen above ground. They are obviously fighting back tears of their own as they prevent the scene from being overwhelmed by people attempting to do anything to save someone and doing more damage in the effort, which would make any attempts to pull out anyone alive even more difficult. To one side, off the rest of the group, is an orc woman holding and rocking the form of a little boy singing a lullaby in Orzet, which is Orcish. His body hanging limply in her arms. In front of her is crudely written Mark 10:14 in blood. If any of you, it's not hard to work out that that is obviously a Bible verse. And just because I'm curious, I'm going to look up that Bible verse.
Frost spots the reference and then looks it up online.
I think Frey's probably Catholic originally, because there's no way John Wick isn't. No, he's maybe Orthodox.
Yeah, he's Orthodox.
So that'd be about the same.
He's an orthodontist.
Near enough.
That too.
Okay, so what are you guys doing?
Probably need to get Ziggy's attention.
Yeah, in order to get through the cordon.
Alright, so you will push your way through the crowd of people to the front of this human blockade. Or Scratcher blockade, I should say.
Yeah, and some of them may recognize us and let us through, but we'll try to get Ziggy's attention since we have dealt with him before, and he knows that we can help because we were there when the bar was bombed.
Does anyone have reputations that might be relevant to the Scratcher?
Shadowrunner.
Shadowrunner?
Yeah.
My reputation only applies to Shadowrunners.
Well, it probably should apply to people we worked with on runs, maybe.
Just going to check to see if you guys have any faction stuff with these guys.
With ORC, we have +0, it looks like. Wonder how that happened. We should have had a positive after the last one.
I don't think that's orcs in general, though. I think it's a specific organization.
Geez, you've got a +4?
Kesh has a 4. Good God.
All right, so that the only reputation that I'd say affects the Scratcher at this point are like a specific gang rep.
Yeah, none of the above.
So if you need to get like a good reaction with someone, you can still use your street cred, but in trying to get past the line, street cred alone probably won't work.
Are we able to get Ziggy's attention, like Frey said?
All right, so who's going to? Are you all going?
Well,
Presumably?
yeah, if we're all there.
I'll get dex rolls from everyone, please, to push your way to the front of the line, because you do have a crowd of people that are, saying, we want to help.
Whoa.
Frey, people seem to just part for you. And
Dang.
They didn't
Facial
know I was
recognition.
there.
Frost, there's like an honor guard as you pass these people.
So our reputation precedes us.
All right. So
Wasted roll.
You guys are all able to push to the front of the mob of people, and you're standing face to face with some of the Scratcher. You do recognize some of the faces, and you can see that they recognize you, but they're still holding you back because they don't want, they've been told keep everyone
Right.
away, sort of thing.
What's McAllister's situation with the Scratchers?
Well, his daughter was dating Ziggy, I think.
Right.
It is generally good, to your knowledge.
So we could potentially name drop.
Yeah, it's worth a try. Good thinking.
Well, like I said, they know who you are. They're not going to like beat you up if you try and push the line or anything.
Right.
But they're basically holding the crowd back. I'll give you if someone wishes to make a reaction roll, and I'll give you a +2 on this reaction roll, and this will represent the group's reaction to the Scratcher.
Not it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You're
That's
supposed
the
to roll
worst
high on
possible-
that one.
Worst possible time to roll a 4.
Hey, does Kesh have luck?
I don't think any of us have luck.
Kesh has luck.
Kesh has
Oh,
luck.
really? Oh,
Luck as
wow.
well, but it's only
How do you-
combat.
How do I use that?
Just roll again.
Note the time and roll twice more.
Yeah, you roll twice more and pick your favor of the 3.
Because at this
And you
point,
can't do it again for an hour.
At this point, you guys aren't orcs, so they don't want you involved.
That one's already better. This is the one time you want
Oh, even better. Oh, man. And just put in chat like luck 1912 or whatever your local time.
Yeah, they very much remember us gunning down a bunch of humanist polyclub assholes.
All right, so you find yourself in front of one of the. I'm assuming that you're going to take the very good.
Right.
You find yourself in front of one of the gangers that joined you in the previous mission where you were taking on the compound.
Hey, Slim. Lucky around?
He looks at you and says, because they're joined arms, he will he'll sort of lift his arm and make room for you to go under. He says, I don't know what's going on. It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, we're gonna find out, and then we're gonna shoot some people.
We're here to help.
So, without unlocking their arms, he just lifts his arm for you to sort of crawl under, and the rest of the group can do likewise. However, one of the people in the crowd will take advantage of that and also run through the gap in the arms. That's
I'm gonna try to grab that person.
All right, give me a dex roll or wrestling.
Is it wrestling or is it judo?
You can use judo, any grappling skill.
Actually, it looks like it's not gonna matter terribly because it's the same.
Decent.
All right, so you grab the guy before he can get past, and he turns to you. This is an orc, and he turns to you and says, let me go, my son's in there. My son didn't come home, let me go. And he starts fighting against you.
You can't do it, or the whole crowd will do it.
Yeah, I know. It's like probably want to turn him over to one of the Scratcher guys that
Hey.
I'm presuming they have some people. Yeah, go ahead.
You got a picture? We'll look for him while we're in there.
That's not going to be quite enough.
Maybe.
He's in a panic.
There are no free Scratcher around. There's the guys that form the barricade, and every other Scratcher is sort of digging through rubble. So you guys are it.
I guess I could stun him if he's going to resist.
Well,
so is he grappled now?
He's grappled, but he's just fighting the grip. He's not like attacking Frey, but he's just trying to break the grip to get away.
Which side of the Scratchers is he on? Is he on the same side as us, or is he like reaching?
Yeah.
He's the same side of you. So you guys have gone through the barricade.
And he got through as well.
He followed, because they made a little gap for you. He managed to sneak through at the same time.
And is the gap closed now, so no one else can do the same?
Correct, yes.
Well, shit, I guess he's coming with us. I'll touch him and cast Mental Stun on him, and then we can drag him away from the barricade so that other people don't get out. Oh, yeah, and Jester's trying to reason with him as well. And I won't do the Mental Stun unless that doesn't work.
Okay. I will... Jester, you can use a skill. An appropriate skill in this case would be... is it psychology to calm a person?
Well...
It's worth a try. Or fast talk.
Has it.
Thinking either diplomacy or fast talk. It's kind of diplomacy here.
Yeah, because it's in mutual interest.
Yeah, there's a give and take.
Yeah, and fast talk implies lying.
Diplomacy. I'll allow diplomacy. Actually, I'll allow diplomacy, fast talk, or psychology. You can roll psychology on default if you needed to.
Just notice my diplomacy is only 11.
We're not the most diplomatic bunch. Yours is better than mine.
So choose one of those 3 skills. If you don't have the skill, any of them, then just roll a default. Or just roll IQ, and then we'll work out the default off that.
Okay. That's probably diplomacy.
So
Since I got
Jenks,
trying to do that as well, but I'm letting him take the. Wow, he doesn't have. I thought Jester had some.
Well, it's contested. The other guy could fail by more than 2.
This
No,
is
not
true.
diplomacy.
Okay, so the guy is quite panicked and frantic. He's pulling at Frey. Jenks, you slap him to get his attention, and it sort of snaps him out of it for a little bit, and he looks at you, realizing that you've just hit him. And then you tell him, you say what you say, and he thinks about it, and he then sort of turns to the carnage and rubble, and he shakes his head. I need to find my son. I need to find my son. He's all I've got. And about this point, he's sort of starting to, weep a little bit as it's almost hopeless trying to get out of Frey's grip.
So stun or nah?
Well, Frey is probably going to comment to the dude that I'm sort of leaning towards. Well, he seems more aggressive than yelling at him, holding him on the shoulder.
I wouldn't describe him as aggressive.
No, I mean, but it's
Just
like
desperate.
Not him. I was looking at Jester's comment.
Oh, nah, that's fine. I don't think that's.
Hey, that's Phil's line.
What, help me help you?
No, that was not Phil's line. That was, what the hell was his name? That was Sly's line. Let's
Phil's
see.
line
Yeah,
is my mistake, your fault.
that or rocks fall and everybody dies.
No, that one's not Phil's.
That was a drill
That's where I
sergeant.
heard it.
That's Phil stole that one.
Shamelessly stole it from a drill sergeant.
And I shamelessly stole it from Phil. So
The circle of life. So with Jester doing that, Frey is also going to be holding on to this dude. I think he's actually going to go ahead and attempt the diplomacy thing with the calm down, tell us about your son. We'll see what we can do. And
Oh, Lord.
Wow. It's going to be like that.
It is going to
Doesn't
be
matter.
like that.
Here comes mental stun.
Give me a standard reaction roll.
Oh, right, yeah. It's freaking
Diplomacy doesn't make a bad reaction, so
Shadowrun is not going to apply in that case. Jeez.
it doesn't change his status. He keeps, fighting almost hopelessly. You succeed your judo by 5, so you've got a good hold of him, and he's just fighting it, and he just can't get away. It's almost, you can see hopelessness in his face.
Stun is resisted by will.
Oh,
Okay, succeeds by 1. You succeed by 5. He is stunned.
Yeah, so he can't do anything but take a defense until he successfully makes a will roll to come out of stun. So you could You could drag him away at this point.
I think I probably will, but in the process, I'm gonna, let him know. Oh, there. I just had an interesting thought. I need to do the cool down hug thing, and and also whisper to him. It's like we're gonna find who did this, and we're gonna kill them all.
Oh. He might not be to the revenge phase, but it's worth a try.
That's okay. I can do it for him.
I mean, if Pip is in there, me too.
Then we're gonna kill them all.
Oh, which reminds me, my time is
Probably
better spent elsewhere. After I cast a mental stun, I'm immediately going to go start casting minor heals on the survivor.
Okay.
I need to hand this guy off to somebody so I can go into criminology mode.
There is no one to hand him off to, unfortunately. Everyone past the blockade seems to be doing something.
What was the incident here? I don't think we've
There was
gotten
an
a
explosion.
report on that. Was it an explosion?
It looks like it.
I thought that's what he said. I could be guessing.
McAllister just said, "It's a school. It's bad." He didn't say exactly, but judging by what we see before us, I think that's accurate.
Okay, so we got people trying to dig through rubble and
Yes.
Alright.
You also spot an arm buried under some rubble, and the sleeve of the shirt looks like that of Pip. The shirt that Pip wears.
Don't you do it.
Well, Pip gave his shirt to somebody else.
Doesn't necessarily mean he's dead.
Don't you do it.
So Frost has 3 of the fly spy robots with thermal vision now. So I'm gonna cut them loose and have them start IDing heat sigs in the rubble.
Ooh, brilliant.
So they can actually crawl through small holes and shit.
Okay, that will work. However, I'll assess a -2 because there's smouldering stuff as well. So you're going to get mixed stuff. But yeah, give me
ID what the ID. So I can start pointing those out to the digger.
It's certainly going to be beneficial to those trying to find people.
And if they've got AR, I can pass those reports on.
We still have a situation with a guy that, is not, subduing. Or is not subdued. He wants to start digging through the rubble.
I'm going to end up having to use intimidation on him, aren't I?
I don't think that would work on somebody who's panicked about a family member.
Well, if nothing else, I'm going to have him at least, tell me about the sun. I need to know about the sun, so where would he be at the
Well, probably
start angling him towards a big bunch of people who are digging stuff out. So nothing else, maybe we can put him to work with.
I could probably talk to him while you frog march him back to the line.
So you're going to take him back to the line, or
yeah,
put him
I think
to work?
so.
Well, you're a big bad PC, so he will resist trying to get away, but
He's kind of loopy right now.
You can secure him, and you take him back to the line, and the scratcher will make room to reinsert him into the crowd.
Problem solved.
Not necessarily.
Oh no.
So he becomes a dead weight. He just starts, saying, "No, my son, he's only 7. He was in class. He's a smart boy. Let me go." And he just becomes a dead weight as you try and drag him back. You'll still get him back to the line, but it's a little harder.
Yeah. Well, while I'm doing that, everybody else can be running around doing other things.
All right, so we have Book, you're doing heals. Frost, you're
shit.
doing drones.
I just remembered something. Oh,
What's that?
wait, one. Go ahead. I'll get back to that.
Kesh, what will you be doing?
I'm going to look around. Observation. IR. Got. See if I can notice anything about explosion.
I think you're breaking up.
You broke up a bit, but I heard that you want to use observation to find out anything you can about the explosion.
Yes. I'm using observation with my IR contact to see if I can tell anything about the explosion, like where it came from or whatever.
Cool.
Okay, give me a
Yeah.
roll.
I'm gonna, once I get free,
Nice.
I'm gonna be doing criminology, trying to do that sort of thing as well.
Anybody have explosives? The skill, not the actual explosives.
Sure would be nice to have some grenades right now.
Oh, I don't have explosives. I need to keep that in mind and correct that.
I got fireball.
Well, I guess that makes sense that I don't have explosives. I use guns.
Well, you got explosive rounds.
Yeah, they go boom. That counts, right?
So succeed by 3. All right,
Looks like
you will
Bruno is
see.
also searching for clues, by the way.
Okay. So I will do that as an assist then. So I'll need a roll from Bruno when he's not AFK.
All right, since we have not done the details of the spells that I'm going to, but we do know that Stabilize Mortal Wound was one of my goal spells, and I will have that at this point. I will not only be using Minor Heal to stop bleeding and stuff like that, but people who are actively dying, I will stabilize as well. And I'll just use Power Stones if I'm about to pass out. But other than that, I'm willing to go down to 2 fatigue.
You will see there are 9 bodies of children that are laid out on stretchers, and they are waiting
Okay.
for the trip to the closest clinic.
So they're stable,
Um,
like non-dying.
well, they're all in. Any sort of triage that's being done is the most basic. So they are in different states of dying.
Okay. Well, I will start then with the ones who are triaged red, and I'll use stabilize mortal wound on everybody who's triaged red, and if I'm still able to, if I'm still conscious at that point, then I'll use heal minor on the people who are yellow.
Okay. I will actually get everyone to make a fright check. And this will be
Fair
a
enough.
-2 because it is a horrific scene.
What do you roll for?
Will -2.
Will. And then what you succeed or fail by is what you add or subtract from the fright table.
Your fright check is capped at 13 characters. It's not
Still a
will.
success.
Right table on the fantasy grounds, or should I pull the book up?
We have the table. I'll link it in chat for you.
How is it? Yours should be capped at
Never mind.
13 as well, Daniel.
When you say capped
It
at
doesn't
13,
cap the skill. It just caps the result.
yeah, so I still get my 15 -2, which is 13. And since that's what I'm rolling against, that is my cap. Like, right?
The only time that cap matters is if you actually roll on the die more than 13.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So Kesh,
So I do get a 3.
Puking.
You start
Darn it.
looking for signs and clues and stuff like that, and you just see, limbs, body parts, children with half their faces missing, and it's just too much. And you sort of turn into a corner and lose your lunch.
I had calculated mine wrong. I have a success by 0.
I'll need a fright check from Bruno, so a will -2 roll. I think everyone else succeeded. Book, you look at the 9 kids laid out on these stretchers, and you have just
Freeze.
this moment of like, how am I going to help these people? You're overwhelmed.
Yeah,
and
who
then,
first?
Then you, a few seconds later, you snap out of it and get to work.
Okay.
Seeing what Book is doing,
You decide emotions later.
Frey is actually going to pass over, presuming this is doable, pass over the 3 power stones that he has. So that's like 15 more points.
Sorry, run that by me again.
I have 3 power stones, Frey does, that are like 5 apiece. So
Oh, okay.
he
So
was
you're gonna,
to hand those off to the book when he sees books like, okay, I'm starting to get a little. It's like, so that's like 15 more points he can use.
Yeah, Bruno, if you need to AFK for a little bit, by all means do it.
Ah, finally set up. Yay!
Search and rescue.
Yeah, new skill they added in that disasters hurricane.
Perception -5. Puts me at 8.
Yeah, thermal vision will allow like a +4 in on a lot of applications, and that one seems like one that it would apply to.
All right. So Kesh, you were looking for some clues. You managed to see what you imagine is the source of the explosion. There is a destroyed propane generator that seems to be the source of the explosion.
Okay, so that'd be like a normal heating unit or electrical generator.
Electrical generator running on gas.
Once I'm finishing throwing up, I'll shakily point this out to the others.
All right, so you will find that actually after you've thrown up and composed yourself and you start looking around, that's what you find. So we've got.
So before that, I take out a cigarette and I'm about to light it when I think better of it and put it away.
Smart move. So Frey is occupied with the dude. Book your healing. Jester is going to be just looking for people. Kesh, you've found some clues, and Frost, we have your role to do. Actually, we've got your role. Search and rescue. What's the combat?
It's a specialty. Specifically covers skills for rescuing service zone and recovering the bodies of those who did not make it back. Seems about right. The other specialties are like caves and caves, maritime, mountain. Well, I guess urban actually would probably work here too. Yeah, probably urban.
So you're rolling that on default at the moment?
Yeah.
Alright, so you will... And what does success on that skill give you? You linked it up above before.
It's not super specific, but it does say search the knowledge needed to find people who may be trapped or injured and to get them to safety. So I presume with a success, I can find people and get them to safety.
Okay, you will manage to... do you have leadership?
No. I'm not really that kind of guy. I was presuming, though, that I could be assisting the others at the very least.
All right.
So that could just be considered an assist role for the other actual
Yeah,
crew.
I suppose also it's like if you come over there with the like the pad and you're showing the showing whoever's in charge going, okay, we've got some people in that area. That straight away would be like they're like, oh, you got that kind of gear. Good.
Yeah. And like I said, any of the searchers who are using AR at all I can pass off my data to them so they can see.
There'll be no one using AR here. And Ziggy seems to be the guy that has taken charge of the situation, so you will assist him in searching for people.
That'll work.
Once you point out that you have your little robots crawling in between cracks and stuff like that, you can see that he is, thoroughly relieved. He says, "You're a blessing," and you start poring over your drone stuff. Give me a D6 roll, please. And give me a D10 roll. In your efforts and over time, you are able to locate 6 bodies. 2 are alive and 4 are dead. These are all kids that you pull out, with the exception of one of them, which seems to be an adult, and you probably figure that is a teacher, one of the teachers.
Yep.
So you start digging through the rubble, get these kids out. So there's 2 more. There's 4 bodies, and just to pull on the heartstrings some, you will note Frey, as these bodies sort of come out, you will look to the father, and you'll see he just drops to his knees.
Oh man.
Well, I did promise him we're gonna find out who did this, and we're gonna kill them all.
Okay,
Yeah,
we're going to kill a
I'm
lot
down.
of them.
Okay.
What about the guy wearing the jacket that looked like Pip's?
Shut up.
I'm totally not, trying to mess with Carrie here at all.
You remove the rubble from that kid, and it is definitely the same shirt that Pip wears. You've seen it on plenty of occasions, but then you remove the sort of last brick to reveal the face, and you didn't think it was possible to be relieved and destroyed at the same time, but it's not Pip, but it is a dead child.
Hmm.
The shirt. Let me see. Pip's
Yeah, I'm not
shirt
happy
has
about
something
it.
on it.
That could have been.
Let me just find Pip for a second.
Didn't he have like the nice day smiley or something?
He has a green shirt. The shirt has a print on it that says "Love the Underground."
Ah,
This shirt does. Pip's doesn't. It's just a plain green shirt.
still down for murdering as many of them as we can find.
Okay. So you will, in doing what you're doing, you guys will hear that everyone seems to be blaming, one hate group or another. Humanus, Alamo 20K, and they're even blaming the Elven Princes, which are in exile.
Who the hell are they?
Not familiar.
One second.
Clearly, the GM is like, yeah, who the hell are they?
I'm just seeing if anything specific about them is being mentioned.
Well, they're apparently in exile. So there's that.
There's apparently an emergency management perk.
Oh, that lets you kind of management mode and turn off the emotions till later.
It says you may ignore and pester victims, shouting, shoving, etc.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Just
That's
feeling
exactly what they train. It's kind of upsetting, actually.
The Elven Princes were banished from Turtanger.
Which
They
is California.
yes. They are now living in squalor in Tarisla, and they're looking to vent their rage anywhere. The reason why they're banished and stuff, I don't know. I'm sure there'll be some lore about it somewhere.
Yeah, never heard of them.
Right.
Okay. So you'll also learn that the Scratcher were the first people on the scene. The Scratcher weren't the first people on the scene. there were 2 journalists that arrived before him. One was named Joe Martin. The other was a dwarf named Philip M.A. Arlo. He is a KSAF citizen reporter.
I don't know before.
No, but
Doesn't sound
we have
familiar.
the KSAF. That's the
Yeah.
female chick.
And Marlowe we've heard of before.
No,
He's tried to get after us.
Marlowe is the,
Martin.
no, it's the
Joe
other
Martin.
So he's the one who has tried to get us to give inside information before.
Yeah,
Is that right?
yeah. We haven't heard of the Marlowe guy, but the K is it KSA? You say KSAF?
KSAF, yes. So
Yeah,
he's
that's the Athena chick.
correct. And Ziggy will tell you that they were here. They did some filming. The dwarf.
They were here before he was.
Yeah, they arrived before him. They did some filming. They were reporting, and he says that the dwarf had to leave to find a matrix signal so he could file the story.
Were they there
But-
first?
He doesn't know. He just says that they were here before him. But he does sort of. You can see there's a sort of bitter tone in his voice. He says, "Neither of them offered any condolences to the bereaved."
Well, they're reporters.
He said they left these, and he gives you a couple of tags, RFID tags, and when you look at them with your augmented reality, they basically just have a business card credentials thing.
Huh. Well, I think we need to have a chat with these people, find out what they know.
Yeah.
And then we can find out who's responsible and kill them all.
I'll start running the backgrounds.
So, with my treatment, was I able to do it with my own fatigue, or did I have to dig into Power Stones? It's kind of arbitrary GM call.
Let's say that were you doing just 1 point heals to stabilize?
Yes, but I was also doing, and I tried to look up the spell, but I couldn't find it. You said there was a spell called Stabilized Mortal Wound, but the page reference you gave, the page number you gave was not for a spell. It was for stabilizing mortal wounds non-magically.
Yeah, you need
Where did I
greater healing.
put that?
Basic 423.
Yeah, mortal wounds can only be healed with magic using a greater heal. Greater heal is the one that heals you to full in one go. Major heals don't.
Where did I talk about that?
I think it actually says it in the basic set under mortal wounds.
It was a specific thing.
Because I have minor healing and major healing, and I made a note that I needed to save up for stabilized mortal wound, but I couldn't find a spell by that name, and the page reference was just to the mundane
Yeah,
healing.
I don't think that was the name of it.
It's Greater Heal. I'm fairly certain it's Greater Heal. So if you actually look up Greater Heal,
No, it isn't. There's another one. I don't remember the name of it either.
So we'll just have to hand wave it, and you tell me where I'm at, fatigue and Power Stone wise, for the moment, and we'll sort it out later.
let's let the dice decide. So
Okay.
You've got a lot of fatigue in Power Stones, don't you?
Yes, I have 12 base fatigue and a little more than that in Power Stones.
And
got
I gave you 3
30.
that will be 15 more.
Thanks. So I've got 27 points worth of Power Stones on.
Alright, so we'll do it like this. Roll a percentile die. Whatever that result is, halved, is what you've used of your Power Stones.
95.
So 40,
completely drained.
No, half. So
47.5.
We'll make it 45. So whatever 45% of your Power Stones.
45% of. Okay, now I see. Got it.
You got the reference.
Just going to quickly. Let's take a 5-minute break. And I'm going to find this spell for you during that 5 minutes.
I already found it.
Oh, did you? So what's it say?
Pasted.
Stop bleeding.
What's the substantially higher cost? I don't have magic open. Is it like double, triple, quadruple?
I don't either anymore. Cost 1 to stop bleeding on a normal wound, 10 to stabilize a mortal wound.
Okay.
Interesting. Although you have the greater one, doesn't that just do it automatically?
Well, we had been playing it in other campaigns, specifically Banestorm, that even casting a minor heal, like any magical healing, stopped bleeding.
It does.
So that, yeah.
But it doesn't stabilize a mortal wound. So if you fail death roll by 1 or 2, it doesn't stabilize the wound. It'll stop bleeding, so they won't bleed anymore, but they're still mortally wounded.
Right. And
Still missing a tremendous amount of blood.
And then we found this. This one specifically says it can stabilize mortal wound.
Yeah, so you need to stop bleeding.
Okay. I think I actually have the prereqs for that and everything. So yeah, at any rate, everyone who can be stabilized is. I need to lie down for about 20 minutes, and I have 12 points left in Power Stone.
Well, I guess that's something.
So is there anything in particular that you want to do beyond that which you're not already doing? So You've done some investigating. Actually, Frey, you wanted to.
I attempted criminology, but I failed the check.
By how much?
Kesh and
But,
Jester were searching for clues.
By 3.
Did we determine nobody had the explosive demolition skill or anything?
I do not have it.
I thought the explosion came from a propane generator.
Yes. You were able to ascertain that it come from a propane generator, but you're not able to see any evidence of deliberate sabotage or to rule out anything but an accident.
Did Jester come up with anything?
I took that as an assist. He was helping search.
Got it.
The only other thing was Frost was going to go ahead and start looking into the background on the journalists.
All right, well, Joe Martin, you know of.
Wow, that really.
Sorry, that's my phone beeping.
Yeah, it was the ding that was like, whoa, that just caught me off guard.
Philip M.A. Arlo. Let's see if there's anything on him.
Yeah, I'll just get the surfacey stuff now, and then go into full-on research later when we have the time.
All you get is that he is a citizen reporter for KSAF, which you know is headed by Athena Totopoulos, I think it was.
Didn't somebody take her as a contact? Is there anyone we haven't taken as a contact?
I did not
I
take
have not taken any of the
any
journalists.
reporter.
I don't like journalists.
Same.
I thought somebody did. Whatever.
So we'll take a 5-minute break, grab a drink and whatnot, and then we'll continue.
Roger, break.
Sounds good.
Taking 5. Okay, we're back.
Huzzah.
Could someone please point us to the next plot point?
Oh, we need to talk to the reportery types. I think we should probably focus on KSAF first, since we have a positive relationship with her.
Yeah, that's probably a reasonable place to start.
And suspicious dwarf.
All right, so you've got
He was with the KSAF, so
you've got 2 AR business cards for each of these guys. So you're going to try the Philip M.A. Arlo card?
no.
Well,
No,
maybe.
we should be able to get hold of Totopoulos, or it was Totopoulos, wasn't it?
Yep. Athena Totopoulos.
Yeah, I would imagine getting hold of her wouldn't be too difficult, and she might give us information about him other than what's obvious.
Okay, does anyone have her as a contact?
Apparently not.
So it looks like we're going to be using that AR on the card after all.
Well, like I said, anybody could talk to her.
We don't even know what she looks like.
I don't think anyone does.
I didn't say you could find her in the crowd.
Athena, Tata, whatever her name is.
She might be the dwarf.
That's true.
That is.
That would be hysterical.
Yeah, I think she's an anonymous entity.
Nope, she's the dwarf. Carrie said it.
Alright, so you will try the number on the card.
I mean,
Yeah.
surely we could just call the KSAF offices and find out if he's an actual agent of theirs.
Well, if it doesn't pan out, then that's probably the angle we'll end up taking. Yeah.
I prefer to look at the background first. So I'll look at the background and you guys can talk to him.
Alright,
Well,
so you
Book
call...
is the more diplomatic of the bunch, I think.
You try the number on the card and it puts you through to an answering machine. Do you leave your details?
Well, that's an interesting question. Do we?
Well, since Athena was able to contact us without us giving any information out at all, we should be able to just leave our handle, and she can use the
Yeah.
information she has.
Well, but I don't think the AR card was calling her. I think it was calling the dwarf. And I think the dwarf is...
I still think she is the dwarf.
Well,
Okay, I have no reason to suspect that or not suspect that. Yeah, so you can probably just do the this is Book. We need to, or Bookworm, need to talk to you ASAP.
Yeah.
Alright, so you leave contact details.
tempted to try to trace that.
Why not?
Because it's not my phone.
Okay, you will get a reply message from Athena. She says, Mr. Arlo is not available, but I'm willing to speak with you in an AR meeting in a couple of hours. And then she'll give you the details for that meeting.
Okay.
It's a go-to
I'll be
meeting
there.
request.
I'll be there if I'm there.
It just occurred to me, have we looked at the list of other incidents and compared them to this
Not
one?
yet.
I would like to do that.
Sure. Give me you can do a current affairs roll. Current affairs, I think, I don't know, the subgroup, the specialization, but current affairs, like current events, news and stuff like that. If you have particular contacts that might know, then you're welcome to utilize those.
I would like to just get on the internet. But that does make me wonder, would that actually be current affairs? I would think that would be required equipment for current affairs in this time period.
Current affairs would just be your general knowledge of how up to date you are with news that's happening, whereas research is actually specifically,
Headline
going
news,
through
that's
stuff.
the one.
You can make a skill roll.
At any rate, we had a list of incidents.
Alright, so you have all the details of all these incidents, and there's differing opinions. Some say, the Orc Underground is just a naturally dangerous place. Shit happens. It happens all the time. There are some saying that the frequency of these incidents is, beyond normal. And it's, unnatural. It's obviously, someone's behind it, and it's most likely those hate groups. That's what you're able to find.
Well, what I'm specifically looking for here is what is the nature of the quote-unquote accident in each of these incidents?
Things like fires.
So none of them up to this point have been a propane tank going off.
No. They've been like fires, minor explosions that lead to a fire, but nothing like this. This has definitely raised the bar.
And none of the other incidents have been schools. Are there more than one school? Is there more than one school in the underground?
Well, the underground houses something like 20,000 people, so I imagine there'd be more than one school. Does anyone have like a mechanics skill that might relate to propane tanks or propane generators?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
I do not.
No. All my skills are generally centered around shooting people.
Does anyone have a mechanics skill at all?
All of my skills are centered around shooting people.
I
should
think the
probably
closest
get a mechanic skill.
closest I could think of is probably urban survival. Yeah, that's not my thing. If it's not electronic, I don't fix it.
Alright, so roll default. IQ
What
minus
is
5.
is it IQ minus 5?
Yep.
Why the hell not?
Exactly. Oh wow, my IQ's not super awesome.
Okay.
Nope. You go Frost.
Holy crap, did I beat Bookworm on an IQ check?
Yup.
God, you
All right,
guys are
so
smart.
Frost. You're not totally unfamiliar with propane generators. There's been a time where you've had to utilize one in your little hidey hole shipping container hideout.
Yeah, maybe.
And also
Wow.
Kesh is also familiar with propane generators.
He's
They
even
don't
more familiar.
they don't just explode.
Well, I guess
Okay.
actually this sort of makes sense because remember we saw where Kesh had that
That's
shitty
true.
ass hideout, so he probably
Not-
used the propane tank to stay warm.
Not more familiar though. He didn't include the -5, so that's a by one.
Ah, right.
Still, you both are familiar enough to know that propane generators just don't explode. They have all sorts of
They also-
safeties and pressure release valves and all sorts of stuff to ensure they are very safe.
They also don't blow up when you shoot them.
This is correct. So
They may catch fire when you shoot, but not explode.
it is, you're more likely to get hit by lightning than for a propane generator to explode like this. So while you guys couldn't find any specific evidence of it at the scene, your gut tells you that this is not an accident.
Right. But actually, did we get access to the actual tank area?
Yes.
I know Kesh was able to narrow it down. So somebody could potentially get an explosive expert down here to find out how it was done.
Might recommend that to the Lucky once
Yeah.
once Kesh points out that he thinks that's where it originates.
Yeah, we'll fill in the scratchers in the area.
Make sure that Lucky has at least Frey's contact information. Maybe the rest of us is like, let us know if you need additional assistance. McAllister's got us digging into this mess. We're gonna find him and kill him.
All right. So you leave your details, and at some point, experts may have a look at it. Though it's not going to be like Night Errant or anything like that, since they don't have any jurisdiction here. So they're not going to send.
Well, that doesn't mean they couldn't come down here if they're invited on their off time or something.
Perhaps they might. It'll probably be pro bono work then. But scenes of crime won't be going there. Or CSI Seattle. I don't know what you guys.
Orktown.
I don't know what you guys call your scenes of crime people. Is it CSI?
I guess that probably depends on where you are. I think it's still call them CSI. Just thinking that would be an interesting show, a Shadowrun CSI thing.
I'd watch it. Like maybe set it in the Bright universe.
Yeah.
Well,
Make
Bright
it happen.
Was cops. Bright was cops. In
Yeah,
Shadowrun.
Bright was
Yeah.
Shadowrun cops.
No, that was just making me think of Almost Human. But that was
Oh,
cops
yeah.
too. It's always cops.
Because they can potentially shoot somebody, and that's
Altered
exciting.
Carbon. Ah, yeah, cops.
Season 2's just started
Well,
on
he's
Netflix too.
technically not a cop. Ortega was a cop in the first season.
Yeah, he was
He
just a
wasn't.
PI.
I've just
In
started
all
to
but
see
name.
season 2. Has anyone else watched it?
I only watched the first episode so far.
I haven't started it yet. I'm still finishing up.
The Altered Carbon universe intrigues me. I want to know more about it.
It is an interesting idea.
Anyway, so you have an AR meeting with Athena Totopoulos.
Yep. Sounds that way.
Do we have anything else we need to do?
We could reach out to Ass Clown, the other guy, but I don't know if we trust him enough.
No, we're talking to Totopoulos because we have specific information we wanted to get from her. I don't think we'd be talking to her otherwise.
Well, I know. We're just trying to find out why that. But he said there was
Yeah.
the other guy was there as well. Martin.
Yeah, Joe
Was
Martin.
he?
Yeah, he said
both
Martin
reporters.
and the dwarf, the Philip Marlowe guy, were both there.
I may have gotten my names confused. Is Martin the one that we dealt with before? The other guy?
Yeah, the guy who looks like a robot.
You've dealt with both.
Right. So the only one we haven't seen before is this Marlowe dwarf guy.
Yeah,
Right.
that guy.
Okay. Yeah.
Robot. He's in a
Okay.
flesh
So
suit.
they got tipped off.
Maybe. Or
Probably.
they're just evil journalists who are doing it because, and we're going to have to wipe them out.
And that's all you have for Athena.
I'm starting to think maybe Book is right.
No, I'm leaning towards she doesn't actually exist. She's like an AI.
Yeah.
Don't
Ooh,
worry, I'll
speaking of
change my
AI.
mind again.
That would be interesting.
Since your sister is available, you could end up having her do the background checks.
Oh yeah, but you're the crazy background check guy.
Right, yeah, but we're doing things.
That would be amusing if she was an AI.
Who's Rita Skeeter?
I haven't read that far
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm not familiar with that.
I haven't read that far ahead in the campaign. She may well be like an AI. That would be an interesting twist.
I'd be surprised if they even go into it.
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay, that's a Harry Potter thing. Gotcha. I wasn't a super awesome big fan of Harry Potter, so I didn't get the reference until I Googled it.
All right, meeting then.
All right, advance to the meeting.
And I'll start the research into the backgrounds, although I guess I don't need the background on the other reporter guy, Martin, since we already know him.
All right, give me a research roll.
Where's my thing? Looking for the thing. Here's the thing.
Well, you guys are at +2 with her.
Yeah, because she hasn't been a jerk or creep us out. Honestly, he creeps us out with that face that looks like it's what were those guys in Doctor Who? The plastic dudes. They showed up in the very first. Damn, good job. The very first episode of Eccleston's run. Autons?
Yeah, I don't remember that season very well.
Yeah, Autons. They're the ones that look all fake. Let me find some classic old Who stuff for that.
Alright, so you do find some info on the dwarf. He is a citizen reporter. He has a blog where he writes all sorts of general journalism. And with the critical, you are also able to find out that he is currently on holiday.
Because, he's actually Athena.
Alright, so you are in a AR meeting with Athena. You are seeing floating in front of your AR vision the microphone image there in front I've got on the screen. And she said she sounds busy, and she says, "Why is it you want to get hold of Mr. Arlo?"
Who's going to be taking the...
Yeah, who's doing the talking?
Well, you're all in the meeting, so you can all talk.
Because he was suspiciously at an explosive, or an attack in the underground. And we want to know how he knew it was going to happen.
I would not say suspicious. He was doing his job. He was reporting the news. But anyway, as it turns out, Mr. Arlo filed his story and he went on vacation.
Is there any way we can get in touch with him? I'd like to know how he knew to be there.
It is, it is bad form for a reporter to give up their sources. You understand that, don't you?
You know how many kids we
That
saw
doesn't answer the question.
today?
That's the
I
answer
wish
to a
Trav-
question, but it's not the question that Frey asked. Please answer Frey's question.
You see, as she talks, the microphone does its like little, motion and movement to indicate that it's talking. When you mention the number of dead kids that you saw, the microphone stops, and that's when I'll get you to make a reaction roll, and you can add the +2 that you have with KSAF.
Is that a single for the group?
Yes.
Oh, God help us. I got it. Yay.
Well,
Hey!
for the first time, your shitty dice rolling in GURPS played out for you.
Does the group,
5s and 6s.
That's one off a very good reaction. Does the group combined have a reaction at all?
Only to
I don't
Shadowrunners.
know.
I seem to recall
Well, yeah.
it might have been in the previous run that we had group reaction.
It sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't know.
Can you
what
actually
it
have
is.
a group reputation?
I don't know why you can't.
I mean, how does that work mechanically?
I guess everyone in the group would have to spend the points for it.
I think the way you typically do that is everybody buys it individually.
Or the reaction costs 5 points, but the cost of it is divided between the group. Maybe that's a better way to do it mechanically.
Huh.
But
Something to
that
think
would never
about.
work in this case. You'd end up with a 1 point reputation, and you can't split that up.
Well, if it's a 5-point rep, you can split that up. That's a +1.
Anywho, no, I think what you would end up doing with that is it would be treated as an organization, and that organization would have a reputation.
Yeah.
So
Suppose you could take the lowest badass Shadowrunner's reputation we have would be our group rep.
Yeah, that's probably true. Which I think is 3.
Or you could take the average. I've got a
Which I
2.
think is
I'm still trying to
3.
figure out how Kesh has 4.
So if you have 2 and Kesh has 4, and Frey and I have 3, the average is.
And I'm gonna have
2
4
or
as soon
3.
as I can. As soon as I can bump my. Because everybody knows John Wick. We've seen that.
alright, but nonetheless, good reaction. She says, Mr. Arlo, he's been a very reliable reporter, and he's been following up on the events in the underground. However, I have noticed that his reports have been coming in delayed, and some were not happening at all. So I've been watching Mr. Arlo's files, and as I was watching, I saw one of the requests disappear from the KSA servers. It is possible that he removed the file, or someone else removed it. In any case, I am not happy. But I understand that you people have been forthcoming with information in the past. So on this single occasion, I will give you a name. However, I'm not sure how useful this is going to be to you. But I understand that Mr. Arlo has been speaking to a man in jail by the name of Jack Turner.
Oh, crap.
Mhm.
Wait, I wasn't involved. Frey wasn't involved with. That was
Was
pre-Frey.
any- No, Book would be the only one that would know him, I think. Maybe.
Oh
Kesh?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was the
Wow.
first one in this this new story arc.
Yeah.
I'll tell
I
everybody
think that's
then.
right.
It says
Oh, I know that guy.
apparently he has known almost exactly when the accidents were going to happen,
Huh.
which is odd given his current predicament.
Very odd.
I
I don't
understand.
remember what his deal was.
I understand that he's currently
put him in
doing.
jail.
He's currently doing time in a knight errant jail.
Let's see. He had no. That's right. That was.
All right. Just
What's
for,
his name's daughter that we rescued from him?
Just for your information, I think it might have been the very first or one of the first.
Yeah, I think it was the first one because it predates Frey.
It's actually the first one back in business, which
It was the
Fiona
Jack
Craig,
the Ripper.
Fiona Craig.
Fiona Craig, the Anna Anarcho. Oh, I'm not even going to try it.
Magical archaeologist.
Anarcho-archaeologist.
Arcano.
Anacro. Out of time. Anacro.
No, I think it's Arcano.
Magical
Arcano-archaeologist. Yeah, there we go. Got it.
Oh, okay.
Kidnapped Fiona Craig. There was this artifact that she had, and you guys found him in his hideout in the Orc Underground. I think Knight Errant contacted you and said, if you guys would turn him over, they would be really happy, and you did. So he was arrested and he's being put away.
Amusingly, Frey actually has Fiona Craig as a contact, but he wasn't involved in that particular mission.
If you recall, you did a mission for her later on where you had to smuggle
Yeah,
some stuff.
I know. I just find it amusing.
Apparently, it's a small world.
Yep. Well, that is very interesting. We need to find out.
Okay, well, that gives us a thing.
Athena says, "Well, I have some work to get to. We have a new story coming out on," and she rattles off, the current, pop sensation or whatever.
I absolutely have no idea what she's talking about.
Thank you for. Ooh, that was interesting.
Oh, that person, yes. That person is definitely a person.
And ends the call.
Hold on. I was in the process of trying to ask if she trusts her IT department, and do they contract out?
Are you trying to get a job with her?
Seeing as they had an issue with data disappearing, it would be potentially useful for me to be able to get in there and find out what happened, who might have done that, but
plus you
it's
want a
non-critical. I got a job. It's a
Uh-huh.
perfectly fine job.
We see how it is.
She says,
Anyway, I was just going to throw that out there.
I thank you for your offer, but I trust my people. They'll find out what's going on if there's something to be found. And then she'll hang up.
Okay. Jack Turner.
Yeah, I remember Fiona was handcuffed to a bed or something.
That's him.
That's not him.
Yeah.
He's the smuggler.
That's not what Captain Jack Turner looks like.
Yes, it is.
This guy is a poor shadow of the one we know about. He's a wannabe pirate.
Well, that's Jack Sparrow. That's not. Right. Turner was Will.
Yeah.
What was his kid's name? Was it Jack? That'd be funny. God, I hope he's not going to take us to a special island. It's going to be like, what the heck is the dude?
Epstein Island.
Okay, well, I guess we need to find a way to talk to this ass clown.
Is that Tosh
How do
again?
we do that?
Well, he's in jail. Yeah, you can just go visit. suppose I can read you this. Jack Turner. The name sounds familiar. Just put the captain in front of it and you remember that he's a smuggler that kidnapped Dr. Fiona Craig, Arcano archaeologist. Got it right. You helped put him away. The irony of now having to go to him on hands and knees begging for what he knows is not lost on any of you. You are pretty sure he's going to enjoy taunting you about that fact.
And I have a terrible idea. I know what he's going to want in exchange for the information.
Mhm. It's probably not a bullet to the head.
No,
it's a
I
bullet to the head.
suspect it's going to be more along the lines of, hey, I'm in jail. I would like to not be in jail. Let's see. I don't know if I would necessarily want to use Tosh on this angle because if, as I fear, this jerk is going to want us to break him out, I don't want
True.
that crumb trail leading back. So how do we get in to talk to him otherwise?
Well, talking to him is not a problem. You just do a prison visit. You know, hey, Captain Jack, you have visitors.
Yeah, but you're going to have to sign in, and it's going to, your identity is going to be on the network as, hey, this person wanted to talk to that person, and then if that person, as I fear, have no way of knowing this is actually going to happen, but I've seen how this campaign is played out thus far.
Mhm.
Well, you could always forge some ID. Does anyone have forgery?
I do not.
Do I? Yes.
So you could forge some ID that will pass a sign in, prison sign in. It's not like they go and check these names or check the visitors, do background checks and stuff.
Maybe
like
they
that.
do.
Right.
Maybe they would in the event of a prison break or in the event of some sort of incident. Then they might check who that person's been talking to. But forgery. I'll allow forgery to work for a prison sign in.
Okay. You can do that. At least get some information from him. Presuming that Frost doesn't totally foobar the forgery check.
Well,
So don't do that. Don't screw it up.
I don't recall if I've actually got any equipment for that. I think I do not.
Well, you can do it electronically, I'd presume, right?
Well, yeah, presume so, but I don't have that either. No, that doesn't mean that I can't get that. I can probably get a forgery kit.
I'm curious how he has this information. That's interesting.
All right, so you guys will do a little bit of research on Jack, and you'll find out that he is currently awaiting trial with his court-appointed attorney. He is still in a precinct jail, so he hasn't gone to prison yet. He's still in a precinct jail holding area because he's cut a deal with the district attorney, Dana Oakes.
Huh.
And you might be privy to this information. You spoke to Tosh before.
Wait, you should.
Say again?
Sorry. You said district attorney? Did she get promoted? She was the
No.
ADA.
Sorry. It is assistant district attorney. No,
I only knew that because I have her as a very low level contact. 6 or less. Oof.
So since you have Tosh and Dana as contacts, you would know that the reason she's cut him a deal is because he's helping her with a mafia member in the underground known as Junior, or has been helping. Obviously, you guys know a lot more than that.
Apparently, a desktop dock fab is 20,000. I'll not be buying one.
You guys are rich.
I'd like to
Not
stay
that
that way.
And the terms of his agreement are that he stay in Newcastle territory rather than go to the usual prisons while awaiting trial, which are all wholly owned by Lone Star.
Is that relevant?
Maybe.
Yeah, because I don't know the difference between them.
Well,
Lone Star used to have the contract that Knight Errant has now, so it could be significant.
Lone Star used to be the police. Now Knight Errant took over. But the prisons are still owned by Lone Star. Whether there's anything that is relevant to that, maybe Jack has some history with Lone Star. You don't know.
Yeah.
You know he is in one of the cells, holding cells in precinct 14. If you have contacts, it is possible that you could use them here. So if you wanted to get, off the record access to Jack Turner, then maybe Tosh would make that happen. Otherwise, you could forge your way in.
Yeah,
or
I don't
just
see
go
any
in and
reason.
talk.
I don't see any reason why. I'm thinking metagamey here, in the whole he's gonna want us to break him out, but Yeah, with Frey, I don't see why he wouldn't necessarily check with Tosh and maybe fill him in on what they found out thus far with regards to the. It looks like it was an actual bombing, and
Actually, yeah, that's true. If you just clue him in.
and maybe say, hey, yeah, I need to speak with this guy. He seems like a person of interest in this mess, and I need to do it off the record if possible.
Okay, roll your skill. Let's see if you can swing it. Okay, I'm very grateful for that information. Anything that you can find and share would be much appreciated. I will let you guys. I'll get you guys to speak to him, and he will add off the record.
Excellent. All right.
How do we want to process that then?
Man,
Who goes in?
Bookworm totally needs a mind reading spell of some.
Does he have one?
So we can totally do
Well.
the whole. I need you to not think about X. Well, obviously, I'm going to have to be one of the ones that's going in.
Now, I do still have Seeker, though.
Yeah, not the same.
Well, it could be if he's referring to someone or something that could be sought out.
And I have Detect Lies about in a non-magical sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could
That's from being a
potentially
professor.
be helpful in that regard, but my help would be electronic, in which case they might not allow that into that area of the station.
Well, so it's at least Frey and Book, it sounds like. Depending on
Yeah,
what
that's
Kesh
probably
wants to
all I'd
do.
send in there.
Maybe have Kesh standing by with Frost in case we come running out shooting. I'm hoping that's not going to be the case.
Or in case somebody else comes running in shooting.
That would be even cooler.
Okay, so you guys are told, you can get off the record access. The details of which you're told to go out to the back of the precinct and wait there. So, of you guys, who's going to do it?
And Book.
Ray and Book go in, Frost and Kesh on standby.
Alright, so you are waiting at this back door. It is a fire escape, so it's only got the handle on the one side, the inside. It opens, and a police officer in uniform opens it, and you instantly recognize it as being the officer that was at the garage.
Oh, hey.
He looks at you two, and he immediately recognizes Book. Give me a reaction roll.
Fist bump.
Is that both of us?
No, just Book.
That guy was so lucky.
Oh, no.
Punch.
So
That guy
Does
that guy
he
was
leave
so
me hanging?
lucky because he let those people through, and then the order came down and said that they should let the people through. So technically, he wouldn't have gotten in trouble for that.
True.
But you used fast talk, so he's had time to digest that and realize,
His IQ was -5 at the time he heard it.
Right, but he's
Could
had
be a
time to digest it.
Ah,
He
come
looks
up
at
with
you. He looks at you. Does anyone have obvious weapons, by the way?
no,
This would seem like a
My-
bad place
obvious.
for that.
No.
my staff looks like a walking stick, not like a weapon.
Does anyone have hidden weapons?
I have a concealed carry license and a sidearm. Yeah, that's gonna
Okay,
be
so-
that's included in the when flashing the whatever the driver's license equivalent. You always include the concealed carry license there as
All right, but he doesn't specifically ask to see ID or anything like that. Do you make mention that you have the sidearm?
Since I'm coming into a police station, I am going to be asking him. It's like, do I need to check my weapon? And trying to be as appropriate as possible.
Okay, so he will. His attention's a little diverted to Book at the moment. He's a little surprised to see you, and he goes. He turns to you and he says, "Oh, yeah, you probably should." So, do you hand over your weapons? Weapon?
Is it to him?
He will. He will extend his hand.
All right. Yeah.
He says, "I'll take care of that. You can get it when you're finished."
Please be very careful with her.
It's just a bullet chucker.
He's got weapon bond on it, man.
And you could get another one.
So he will let you in, but he'll be sort of looking at Book, a little unapproving. He may not even know why he doesn't really like Book at the moment.
His memory of that time period is a little fuzzy.
But
Well,
Book's,
he's maybe chalked it up to God. I was on shift for 16 hours straight and wasn't thinking straight. But I don't know. There's something about that guy. He's got an ill favor.
The temptation to cast Strike Blind passes.
so he will lead you in through the back door of the precinct. He will take you in to a hallway and then down a flight of stairs. So at this point, you guys have not seen any other police officers unless they sort of pass you in the hall. So you're basically backstage.
Right.
So it leads you down a set of stairs into holding cells that are below the precinct. Takes you to the cell, and is just a door with a window that is a grill. There's a mesh grill. Book, you will instantly see that there are magical wards on the cell.
Oh, interesting.
IQ plus magery, but you will see that there's
Both of them.
Well, IQ plus major is 18, so
it's a given.
It's a 12 for me.
Well, then you can roll.
Whee! Hey, I made it. Sweet.
You'll notice that there are wards on the cell, for obvious reasons.
Yep.
You will all notice the guy that escorted you down here. He says, "Just shout when you're done," and he will show you your pistol and says, "You can have this when you leave." He looks up to the camera that's in the hallway that you're at in front of the cells, and he just sort of looks at it and nods, and you can see the little red light on the camera goes out.
Huh. Privacy. Is that for us or for him?
Yeah. No, that's for us. Because remember we asked to have it private off the record.
No, I think I
you
was
can-
AFK cleaning up cat vomit.
If you have body language, make a roll.
I do.
Seeing that he's one of the only two honest cops in the city, you notice that he's not comfortable with what he's been asked to do. But he's a good soldier and does what he's told.
Right. Well, I'm not planning on shooting this guy, so
Should make him a reoccurring cop.
He is now. He
I'm
needs
thinking
a-
about picking him up as an ally or a contact.
His name needs to be some variation of Dudley Do-Right.
Paladin.
Not Red Skirta?
Dudley Paladin.
Wait, what were you? What was the guy's name you were using Tebow for in your space game, Daniel?
Oh
He
man,
was
I don't
basically
remember.
a super paladin.
Yeah.
Well, he needs a name.
Tebow.
Yeah, Tim
Yeah.
Tebow, the quarterback. Well, former quarterback.
Duke.
Gator. What? I have to drive to Alabama and shoot you. Okay, that's a lot of work, so I don't want to do that.
I'll come to you.
Okay, so he'll go up to the mesh of the window and he'll say, "Jack, you have visitors." Then he'll leave you guys, and then the face of Jack Turner appears at this mesh, and he says, "Well, well, well, what brings you assholes here?"
Necessity. And a lot of dead kids.
Give me body language. You get a tell off him that he knows what you're talking about.
So let's not waste each other's time. The media knew about the bombing downtown or underground, and they learned it from you. So we would like to know how you learned it.
He takes a long, deep breath and he says, "So you're coming to me for information, huh? I can help you, but I want something in return. I want you to bust me up." And end scene.
Yeah.
Wait, I had a good answer to that though.
Okay.
He says,
Good
I
night.
want you to bust me out. And I say, or since the camera's off, we could kill you and I can make your ghost tell me what we want to know.
Okay. End scene.
Which would be
that's the
intimidation
Yeah.
with
I'm like,
bonuses
oh,
for being able to
damn.
follow through.
I'm looking at him like, oh, damn, all right.
We've done it before.
The question I have
Yeah.
for you anyway, and I know Book would know this, is would that not potentially set off the award?
No,
Yeah,
we're inside
it depends
the ward.
on what the
Spells
wards
can't
are.
cross the ward. Wards are to prevent spells from crossing them.
Ah, okay.
So someone outside couldn't. So say if someone wanted to find his location and they wanted to use Seeker, they would have to, like, their success with Seeker would have to defeat the ward in order to be able to
Gotcha.
work.
Okay.
But since we're inside the ward, spells
Still,
will work
that's
inside.
That's a really awesome.
No, you're not inside the ward. The ward's on the cell.
Oh, I thought you said there were wards surrounding. My bad.
It's on the cell.
You're
cells.
outside the cell.
Ah, okay. So yeah, we'd have to go in there to do that.
Still, it's a really awesome threat. I have
All
to
right.
say.
I thought so.
You've used that before, though, haven't you?
Make
Yeah, we have.
Some derivative, but it's still an awesome threat.
Make the.
It is. It's hard to beat
roll.
that.
Okay. Not bad.
Wow.
All right. He is significantly intimidated, but we still end scene there. On the DVD, alternate endings, special features, alternate endings on that one.
Yeah, I had to assuage my curiosity and jump to the Twitch stream just now to see what Brian actually rolled. Yeah, that was a terrible roll, dude.
How much did I beat it by?
Lots.
I don't know what his will is, but he rolled a 15.
Oh dear.
I think it's like
you would have had at least the +4 for threat of violence. Or is it 3?
And he should also get like an extra scary bonus because he looks like this happy, innocent dude. The light is totally gonna have the light is totally gonna have shown him like Tobey Maguire in Sin City, where you can see his entire face, but his glasses are reflective. So,
yeah. So he'll step back from the little grill window, and he genuinely believes that you're going to do what you say you're going to do.
That's right, because he actually knows that you could potentially do that.
all right.
What did you do to him?
Yeah, I think there was much magicry involved.
There was some.
All right.
I do not recall. I have to check the stream.
Yeah, no, I vaguely remember that session because it was Ditch, and Ditch punched a hole in the wall so he could throw stuns inside the room.
We do have fun.
Okay, so I guess it's two character.
Right.
Yeah, character points. Yeah.
2 points.
Got it. And I will sort out my prereqs and spell purchases and stuff from the down.
Yeah, it's stop bleeding that you need to get.
Yeah, I added that to my notes.
All right. Awesome.
Well, Captain Button, you in next week?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Awesome.
Cool. It'll be same time, same place.
Same bat channel.
And your luck has reset.
That resets after an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1 hour real time.
Yeah, you can get improved versions of it, but depending upon the cinematic level of the game, the GM can go, no, I don't want you to pick the 45-point one, which is luck every 15 minutes.
Yeah, and actually luck itself, the 1 hour one is subject to GM approval too.
All right. Well,
Oh, stream out.
I guess that's that.
Good night, stream.
Thanks for being with us as we meander along. We're going to have
Thanks.
to break this dude out of prison next week, aren't we?
Thank
Maybe.
you, everyone.
Probably
just-
so.
We
We'll
could
see.
just break him.
Cool. Cool. All right. Well,
All right. We'll see you later.
yes,